You didn't fail today because you weren't trying hard enough. You failed today because your ADHD brain spent 8 hours doing everything except the one thing that would actually move your business forward. And the wild part is that you felt productive the whole time. That's not discipline. That's not a discipline issue. That's not a time management problem. That is your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do, and you not having a system that works with it instead of against it. Stick with me for the next 12 minutes because what I'm about to tell you is going to change how you work for the rest of your life.
You. You. Yes.
Yo, it's Alyece, say it right, no cap. ADHD CEO, yeah, we run this track. Systems that slap, brains built different. We make sales in our sleep, yeah, the hustle's efficient. This ain't fluff, nah, this is strategy raw for the ADHD. Minds breaking every law. Hit subscribe, don't miss a single show. We're running on dopamine, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, here's what you've been telling yourself. And trust me, I know I am you. Okay. I just need to get more organized. I just need a better planner. I just need to be more disciplined. When things slow down, I'll finally be able to focus. I need you to hear me on this. None of that is the problem. You've tried the planners, you've tried the apps, you've tried the routines, and it works for like 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, if you're lucky. And then you're right back here, exhausted and behind and wondering, what's wrong with you? Nothing is wrong with you. What's wrong is that every system you've tried was built for a neurotypical brain, and you do not have one of those. You have an ADHD brain, and an ADHD brain does not run on discipline. It runs on something completely different. And until you stop fighting that, you will stay stuck. Let me paint you a picture, okay? And tell me, please send me an Instagram DM and tell me if this sounds familiar. You wake up, you have clear intentions. Today is the day. You know what you need to do. You open your laptop 8 a.m.-ish. You tell yourself, I'm just going to check this one email. That turns into reorganizing your inbox, which reminds you that your Google Drive's a disaster. So you spend 40 minutes color coding folders you haven't opened in 6 months. And now it's almost 11 and you're hungry, right? Naturally, your body's hungry. So you'll go to the kitchen and you'll eat something. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to get in real work after I feed myself. Over lunch, you're kind of scrolling for research. You find someone in your niche doing something you want to do. So you spend 30 minutes in their content, screenshotting it, putting that in the chat GPT, trying to reverse engineer because now you feel inspired. You feel a little behind, maybe. You're now starting to feel overwhelmed, so you close the app. It's 1:30 and you sit down to do the thing. You open a new Google Doc. You type 2 sentences. They just somehow don't feel right. So you delete them. You stare at the screen. Your brain is now completely offline. You're like, okay, I'm going to push through till 5. I can do this. You close your laptop at 5:05 and you feel exhausted. And the proposal that would have brought in, I don't know, $2,000, still not sent. That's not laziness. That's not a character flaw. That is an ADHD brain stuck in a loop that doesn't know how to take a break. And today I want to show you exactly what that loop is. So what I just described has a name. I call it the safe task cycle. Okay, and here's how it works. Your ADHD brain is wired to avoid things that feel uncertain, high stakes, or hard to start. So instead of doing something that's revenue generating, the one thing that actually matters, your brain steers you towards tasks that feel productive but carry zero risk. It's human nature for our brain to try to protect us from danger or something we're uncertain about. Organizing, researching, planning, tweaking things that are already done, those are tasks that give your brain a hit of dopamine, right? You feel like you're working, you could see an end result. You are working, just not on the right thing. The sneaky part here, though, the safe task cycle looks like productivity from the outside, right? Your calendar's full, you're busy, you're moving, but at the end of the day, your bank account hasn't changed, you haven't gotten new clients. And so while you were busy and moving, your business wasn't, and that proposal still didn't get sent. That's not a motivation problem. If it was a motivation problem, you wouldn't have been motivated to do all of those tasks. It's a dopamine routing problem. And your brain is choosing stimulation over priority because it doesn't know how to do anything else yet. The key word here is yet, because you can absolutely rewire this. I've done it. Entrepreneurs I've worked with have done it. And it doesn't require you to become a different person. It requires you to build a different system. And so the neuroscience behind it, and I'll keep this super simple because I'm not a scientist, obviously, and I'll go ahead and put that disclaimer in here. I'm not a medical professional, but ADHD brains are not priority based, they're interest based. And so what this means is your brain doesn't naturally sort tasks by importance. It sorts them by how interesting or urgent or emotionally charged they feel in that moment. And so when you sit down to do something that matters, something high priority, but also kind of scary, that fear of rejection sets in. Maybe this client will reject that proposal or something that requires like a sustained focus. Your brain looks at that task and is like, this does not feel interesting enough to start, and it routes you somewhere else. It's not weakness, it's neurology. Okay. So the problem isn't you. The problem is that nobody taught you how to work with an interest based brain. Every productivity system you've ever tried assumed your brain worked like everyone else, and it doesn't. And that's actually good news because once you know how your brain actually works, you can build a system that works with it. And when that happens, when your brain stops fighting itself, the output changes completely. So I want to give you some tactical shifts if you've never listened to any of my episodes before. I'm a very tactical person. It's ADHD brain. I don't have a gray area. I'm very much tell me what to do so I could do it. And so here's what I want you to do tomorrow. Just one thing, not the whole system overhaul, one move. Before you open your email, before you check anything, before you do one single warm-up task, I want you to write down the one thing that makes you money. Not a list, one thing. The proposal, the pitch, the follow-up, the offer, whatever it is for you, write it down. Set a 15-minute timer and do only that one thing for 15 minutes. No switching. No, I'll just check this first. 15 minutes, that one task, nothing else. And I want to tell you why this works because I know you're probably like, I've tried that before, but Pomodoro technique, blah, 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 blah. No, you are fighting your brain. You're not fighting your brain. You're giving it a container. 15 minutes is non-threatening enough that your brain won't resist the start. And for most of us with ADHD, starting is the hardest part. Once you're in it, the dopamine kicks in and you keep going. That's kind of what I call the flow entry point, a very structured way into the work that bypasses that resistance your brain creates around high stake tasks. And so I want you to try it tomorrow. If you're listening to this early enough, try it today, just once, and notice what happens the rest of your day when you do the real thing first. And so that one move I just gave you, that's the beginning of something that I call flow first thinking. And I did my entire TEDx around this. I published a book on it because what I just walked you through, it's not a tip, okay? It's not a tactic. It's a framework of how ADHD entrepreneurs can structure their business, their day, and their decision-making around how their brain actually works instead of how they think it should work. It helps you eliminate that decision fatigue. And I've done episodes on decision fatigue before, but legit, it is one of the reasons you're super stuck. And so flow first thinking is available right now. I'll put the link in the show notes for you. And of course, if today's episode hits you somewhere specific, if you've heard yourself in this day in the life moment, the book is the next step. It's not a self-help book. It's how your brain works book. And it's probably the most practical thing I've ever put together for entrepreneurs like you. Okay, so here's what I want you to know as we kind of wrap up today. You already know what you've been avoiding. You knew it before you hit play on this episode. You probably knew it when you woke up this morning. The question is whether today is the day you stop pretending you don't. Because the version of you that is this all figured out, the one who works with their brain instead of against it, that version exists. I've met them. I've helped them build. And they are not fundamentally different from you. They just stop fighting themselves. So if you are ready to stop fighting it, check the show notes, get the book, shoot me a screenshot of you listening to this, throw it in your stories on IG, tag me at socially.awesome. I want to celebrate you for learning more about how your ADHD brain works. Because when you understand how it works, you can build systems around that. And if this episode hit home, share it with the person in your life who needs you to hear it, who needs to hear it today. That's exactly how we build this community. If you're not in my Unmasked community, Telegram community, check the show notes for that as well. Free community. There is no judgment zone in there. I've got all kinds of resources and goodies for you. And as always, make it simple, make it social, make it awesome. I'll see you next week.